Hello and welcome back to LordFan Gaming Play Star Wars Knights of the Old Republic. I'm your host LordFan. In this Don't Panic series, we're going over Star Wars Knights of the Old Republic on how to survive, create your characters, and much more. As always, like, comment, and subscribe to my channel for more content like this. Do not forget the notification bell so be updated and more. So you're wondering, how am I going to survive this? These ghouls are attacking me. I don't know about combat. I don't know if I made the right choice or not. Don't panic, help is definitely on the way. So first thing we're going to start is how to save your game. The very first thing I will definitely talk about is saving your game. At times today, many people go on 1 or 2 saves and then all of a sudden some bugs happen, some issues or bad choices, or you decide if you're a light side character, accidentally pick a dark side choice. You know what? You want to definitely make many saves as possible, especially if you're doing some mini games. This way you don't lose some credits. Yeah, that's right. Credits is the money in the game. Saving is very easy. Just go ahead, hit the save, pick a file slot, and name anything what you want. After that, you're done. Same thing as loading. Just load it back up. It is really simple, really easy. My advice is this: save often, save early. If you do not, then bad things will definitely happen to you, or you'll lose your progress. So let's go ahead and talk about the next topic, character creation. It is time to go ahead and talk about character creation. Now, before I actually do start, there are the Jedi classes that will definitely get its own section. But for now, we're going to go ahead and do the starting classes, which is the Soldier, the Scout, and the Scoundrel. So what I'm going to do is go ahead and go over each and every one of those. And the first one is the Soldier. This is like a frontline fighter. You can get a lot of feats when you level up during the Soldier. However, your skills, not that much. This is a great class if you want to be really up there. Now, the Scout, that's like middle of the road. You're going to get less feats than the, I should say, Soldier, and less skills than the Scoundrel. But still, it's nice. You do get implants for free from 1, 4, and 8. Last but not least, Scoundrel class. It's like a rogue. Now, if a foe's stunned, they get to do a sneak attack. Now, if they first strike after using stealth, they get to do a sneak attack. My advice is pick whatever class is your style. So for now, I'm going to go ahead and do the Scout, which is the middle of the road class, I call it. Now, I say do customization, please. It's much more better than, let the game do it for you. Let's go over the attributes. First of all, strength. This governs high attack and also chance to hit. Great to have if you're a frontline fighter. Pump that up there. Dexterity measures your reflex saves. More of that, you get better at that. Also, your attack rolls for range, like blasters and grenades. Also, defense. Now, this is great for, I'll probably say anyone uses a blaster, or I should say definitely a Soldier and Guardian. Next up is Constitution. This covers how much vitality you have in the game, aka hit points. I'm going to say it's extremely important for Soldiers and Jedi Guardians. I'll probably say 12 to 14 should be a good spot. Intelligence, it gives you a whole bunch of skill points. Now, if you're a Scout, you're trying to go for sample HK-47 repair quest, put a lot of points up there, or if you're a Scoundrel, put a lot of points up there too. There's some good skills in the game. Now, Wisdom, this does is adds modifier to your force points, saving throws to your force powers, also boosted up those said force powers. Great to have. 12 to 14 is the ideal spot. Now, Charisma, now this does is modify your more force powers and force feats too. Also, make your persuade talks more likely going your way. Again, 12 to 14. So, one of my advice on attributes, if you're more of a frontline fighter, definitely focus on strength and dexterity. If you like go for more force users down the line, then wisdom and charisma. Now, if you're going for HK-47, 12 to 14 is the perfect score for the intelligence. Other than that, I say experiment, and once you do level up, focus on 1 point. So let's get to the next section of the video. After I'm done, it is skills. Now, in Star Wars Knights of the Old Republic, there's a set of skills you get to have, and I'll go over each and every one of them. Now, computer use, this gives you ability to hack computers and programs. More points in the computers, less of those spikes use up. Now, I'm going to say is there's certain characters that have high computer skills. If you, for example, you're a soldier, don't put any points in it. Instead, put in those companion party members. This way they'll fill the spot. Now, demolition, you get to set, recover, or disarm mines. This is a great way to make money. But still, if you're like a Scout or a Scoundrel, yeah, definitely put some points into that. So this will be a nice money maker. Otherwise, bring Mission along. She's great at demolition too. Same thing as Cantor is too, at times. So I'm going to go ahead and say stealth is next. This one, I'm going to say is, I'd say most part skip it. Unless you're really good at stealth in this game by going in solo mode, yeah, then go for it. But stealth in this game is not that really great. If you want to go for it, that is fine. But still, you get popped by this skill many times called awareness. Now, awareness gets a check for hidden objects. Also, mines too. I'm going to say is if you want to put points in awareness, that's fine. But it is much better when you have a Jedi companion or another companion with high awareness. This way, they're the ones who spots it for you. Next up is Persuade. This is the most important skill for your main character. You get to talk your way into doing things for people, good or bad. You definitely really want this. I'm going to say is for the soldier and scout, bank those points. This way when you become a Jedi, you put all those points in Persuade, especially if you're a soldier. Now if you're a scoundrel, go ahead to start pumping that like crazy. Now repair this does is or fixes droids that are out there in the field. Helps out sometimes in battles. This way they're the meat shield, not you. This is also great for repairing HK-47, a companion you'll definitely get. I'll say probably Scout and Scoundrel, you want to put some points into it. That should be your second skill you want to focus on. Now security, this is like lockpicking, but this time you just open up certain doors. I'm going to be honest, if you're a Scoundrel, yeah, put some points in that. Otherwise, have someone like Mission or that cute little droid to do all your security for you. So I'm going to go ahead and do the last and final skill, Treat Injury. This adds a point modifier to med packs that you use or repair kits. I'm going to say this is alright to use. Some people put in 5 and sell it there and then focus on other skills. Up to you on that. Now if you're a soldier class with low skill points, I say skip it and bank it for Persuade. Now last but not least, about banking points. Yes, you could do that without any problem. You're not forced to spend any. Unlike Neverwinter Nights 2. This is like Neverwinter Nights 1 in the skill department, which this is great. So I'll probably say it's definitely on all the classes. Make sure you bank 4 points when you start out for Persuade, because when you class change, you want to put all those points into that. And the other ones just do at your own discretion. Now, next up on the list is Feats. I'll try to go through all of them as much as possible. First one, 2-weapon fighting. This does is it reduces the penalty, which is by -6. So in other words, it's good. Now this one upgrades the reduction of the penalty much further. Now if you have balanced weapons on either one of those I just mentioned, it reduces those penalties much more further. Now the last one, Master 2-weapon fighting, reduces most if not all the penalties, especially if you're using a a balanced weapon on the other offhand. You're really powerful. I'm gonna be honest about the 2-weapon fighting feat tree. Seriously OP'd. I tried this on my dark side character versus my light side character. It is so wrong. Now next up is the armor proficiencies. I'm going to be blunt about it. Now light, medium, and heavy. Don't put any points into it. Instead, just leave it there. At some point in the game, you will class change into a Jedi and you're forced to wear robes. Yeah, there's no armor like that in KOTOR 2. It's only robes in 1 to get the bonus from it. So next up is Caution. This will give you, the first one gives you +1 points to Demolition and Stealth. Next one's second tier is +2 to Demolition and Stealth. Last one's +3 to that. I'm going to be blunt, it's okay, but skip it. Now, Critical Strike, this one does is, it gives you a nice bonus in attack. For example, you could stun a foe, unless their Fortitude saves kick in. However, you get a -5 defense. Next up is that threat range will be 18 through 20, for example, lowers it much further. Same penalty and same bonus too. Now, last but not least is Master Critical Strike. Now it quadruples your threat range, same bonuses and penalties. I'm gonna be blunt about it. There's better ways to stun foes, grenades, force powers. I say skip it. Now, Empathy. This will give you +1 points to Persuade, Awareness, and Treat Injury. And that's not. It's a decent one to have, especially if you're a soldier and scout starting out. Next one's Improve Empathy, +2 points to Persuade, Awareness, and Treat Injury, which is fine. Last but not least, the third one, Master Empathy. This gives you +3 points to Persuade, Awareness, and Treat Injury. I'm going to be blunt about it. Now, if you're more of a focused fighter, skip those 3. If you want to be talking, that is fine. So let's go to the next one. Let's talk about Flurry. So this gives you extra attack. However, you suffer -4 defense, also -4 penalty to all attacks. It's pretty decent. Now the second one reduces that penalty by half. Still, I'm gonna say is yeah. And the last but not least is the master one is -1, which is pretty good. I'm gonna be blunt about this feat tree line. It's pretty good if you're a scout. Now, if you're a soldier, power attack is much more better. So next up is Gearhead, gives you +1 skill points to repair, security, and computer use. I'll say that's pretty alright. Definitely get for that little droid. Now, this is the upgrade to it, which is +2 instead of +1. It places a +1. Obviously, you want that if you decide to go further down the rabbit hole, if you want to. Last but not least is Master Gearhead, gives you +3 points to repair, security, and computer use. I'm going to be honest, unless you really want HK-47, skip this entire line. I say actually upgrade HK-47. Now, first of all, it's conditioning, +1 save throws. The second one's +2 save throw. That's all save throws, by the way. And the last one's +3 to all save throws. If you have feat points spared over, really, you could do it. Otherwise, I say there's better ways to spend some feat points. Now, real quick, implants. There's level 1, 2, and 3. You go down the list. Here's the great news. If you're a scout, you get those free at 1, 4, and 8. Since my character I made is a scout, I get those free. This frees me up for getting more feats. Now, if I'm like a soldier, yeah, I'll get that in a heartbeat. This is one of the feat trees you want ASAP. Really important to get for all three class types. Even your Jedi ones too, when you get down that line. Now, next up is Power Attack. Power Attack adds +5 damage. However, your hit is -3. If you have high strength, that kind of really negates that. So you could hit very hard. Really good to use in this game with a melee weapon. Now, this is the upgraded version. It's +8 now instead of 5. Really awesome. And the hits keep on getting better and better. Now, the Master one, that is +10. You can wreck some foes. I'm going to be blunt about this. One of the best melee feats you could get in the game, especially if you're a soldier, light or dark side. Get those ASAP. Focus on that over Flurry. Unless Flurry was free, then focus on that tree. Now, Power Blast adds +5 damage. This is exactly like the, I should say, range version of Power Attack. After that, if you decide to go further, it's +8 to damage. Of course, you still get the hit penalty. Last one is the +10 to damage. Same hit penalty. I'm going to be blunt. If you're not going to use Blaster Mutt, do not get it. But if your companions are, get it for them. Karthik, for example, is great with blasters. And that will help him out big time. Now, next up is Rapid Shot. This will give you extra attack. However, you have minus defense and -4 penalty to attack. This one's alright if you want to go that route. Now, this one reduces the penalties by half. So it's -2 on both. And the last one's -1. Now, you have a choice. You could go this route, Rapid Shot, or Power Blaster, if you all want to, but it's up to you all on that. That's also great for two-weapon fighting too, if you're going that path. Sniper Shot, that is the critical hit version for ranged weapons. Same as that, but it's with ranged weapons, and if you can stun a target, that's fine. And then the next one, your threat range on your weapon triples, which is good if you want to go that route. Same stun too, same pluses and minuses also. And that's the Master Sniper Shot. I'm going to be blunt and honest. I tested this out. It's not really worth it. Just save for something else better. Now, weapon proficiency, blaster or pistol. That means you could use a blaster pistol. Simple as that. And if you get weapon focus, that's +1 to attack bonus with blaster pistols. Weapon specialization gives you +2. Now, since I am not a soldier, I cannot get to weapon specialization. Now, blaster rifle, same thing, because your rights to use blaster rifle type weapons. You go weapon focus, that's +1. Specialization is +2. I'd like to give that out. I'm going to go ahead and get the next one. Heavy weapons, that gives you right to use heavy weapons. Now, next up is adds +1 attack, weapon focus of that. To heavy weapons, +2 weapon specialization. Now, I'm going to say is if you decide to go that, it's okay, but skip it really. Now, melee weapon, that actually gives you right to use melee weapons like bioblades and swords, which is actually pretty good if you're going that route for your party members. That's right, for your party members, not you. Now, this just adds +1 to melee weapons if it's weapon focus. weapon specialization is +2. I'm going to say there are 2 characters you want on that tree with melee weapons, and it'll ruin someone's day. Now, next up is toughness. This is one of the great feats you want. Gives you 1 extra vitality point every time your character levels up. This is retroactive, so you get some extra points. Really good to have. I am serious. Now, next up, it's just like the previous feat you gain. However, you subtract 2 points of damage you suffer. This is great. It's an upgrade, and you should definitely get it ASAP, everyone. And the last one is, let's see here. Just to give everyone more time to look at that, is this Master Toughness. You get some extra vitality besides the regular vitality you get. So not only you get 1 + 1, you get +2. And you still get the 2 physical damage resistance, which is good. Best to get this whole entire toughness line. Get it ASAP. You'll really benefit from it on all classes. Now, next up on the list is dueling. You get +1 attack and defense every time you use a single-handed weapon. So you have only 1 weapon you use. You get those nice bonuses. Now, this upgrades that to +2 on attack and defense. Also, I forgot to mention, applies to both range and melee weapons. Same thing with 2-weapon fighting too, applies to both the range and melee. Now, this last one's +3. I'm going to give a blunt opinion about this. If you're planning using one-hand weapon in your hand, your main hand, get this ASAP if you want to. Otherwise, settle for 2-weapon fighting if you're going dual wielding. My final advice about feats is definitely focus on toughness. Implants, if it's not free, if implants is free, you could have other things to focus. Focus there on 2-weapon fighting or a duelist and such. Other than that, just build the character how you want and experiment. Let's go to the next section of this guide. Next up on the list is UI and exploring. So when you do explore, do be careful. If you have your awareness high enough, you spot mines, and the game will pause when you spot foes. And if they come towards you, get ready for battle. And let's go over the UI real quick. Also, while moving around, yeah, just always look out for anything. You might miss something. Yeah, always pause the game too. You may never know what you miss or when you want to plan. Now, I'm going to point this out on the lower right. The first one was Jedi Powers. The other one was, second one was healing. This one is like stamina and shields. Yeah, shields could protect you against certain elements. And this one's mines, if you can find them. On the lower left, that's your character party member portraits. Gets down to 0, they're dead. What I just clicked is the mini map. Also, when you automatically discover locations, yep, that's right. It just marks it. You don't have to do the legwork. Now, this year, equip characters. If it's red, you can't equip it. If not, you can. Also, as you see here, the numbers. Top is your damage, bottom is to hit. Now, I'm going to probably say is at some sort of point you get to modify your weapons and armor later on. We'll get to that. Now, I'm going to say you equip armor 2, which is good. Later on, just equip robes. This is your inventory. Get to organize items, including utility, usable, quest items, and etc. Good to have and good to know. And those frag grenades. And there's also some nice things I am showing you real quick. I will go over what type of items and what their uses is in the next section of the guide. Alright, next up everyone, this is your alignment. So that's your light side and dark side. More dark side action, more red it gets. More light side, more like a light blue it gets. It depends on what your characters are. On the right is your class, your vitality, defense, your attributes, your saves, and also experience points you get too. Now this section has skills, feats, and later on Jedi Powers. Now depending on what attributes are really up there, you get a nice bonus too. For example, Persuade. Since I have none, that's a +3. Also, some of your feats will kick that up there too, so do remember that. And I'm just showing you off the feats what I have. This will only show you what you currently have, so keep that in mind when you're planning. Now this is your messages here, so this way if you want to remember some hints and clues, you go back and read it. Next up is your quest log. Very important. Do side quests first. I mean, come on. This way you'll get to the main next. Also, it tells you a complete quest. That's before your map. That's another way to reach it. Last but not least is your option menu. Same thing for saving and loading your game. Other than that, that is it. Just explore the area, take it cool, and just do side quests. And oh, by the way, that's how you switch out your party members too. You can also return your hideout or your ship later on. We'll go ahead and get to the next section, which is items and what they are uses are. In this next part of this new player guide, we're going to cover stimulants, medical packs, mines, and of course grenades. As for mines, I'm going to suggest just selling them, but still for people who like to use mines, I'm going to go ahead and give out what they all do. So I will go ahead and start first with the stims and the medical packs. Let's get to the good stuff. Now, strength adrenaline gives you +4 strength. The hyper version will give you +6. Clarity adrenaline will give you +4 dex and 20% speed movement. And the other one, the hyper version, will give you +6 dexterity and 30% speed. Next up is the stamina adrenaline that gives you +4 constitution. The hyper version that is +6. The battle stimulant is +8 vitality, aka hit points, and +1 attack. The hyper version of that, of course, will give you +16 hit points and +2 attack. And the economy version of that's +25 hit points and +3 attack. You definitely want to use these in certain situations, especially at the start of the game, so this way you have a nice extra edge. Next up is med packs. First is the antidote kit. This cures poison all types, however it won't recover any of those lost hit points. Next up is med packs. This heals a basic of 10 vitality. If you have any wisdom modifiers and that treat injury that's ranked 10 and above, heals much more. Now the next one's advanced med pack, better than the original one, 20 vitality. With more wisdom modifiers, of course, treat injury ranks, it heals much more. Last but not least is life support pack, heals 30 vitality. With more wisdom modifiers and of course treat injury ranks, it heals much more. The next section is grenades. Next up on the list are the grenades. Please note they can be resisted either by reflex, will, or fortitude saves. First one is concussion. That stuns for 9 seconds, no damage. Great for Scoundrels, by the way, to use. Frag grenades is 20 piercing damage. Next up is adhesive, no damage, however, entangles, and of course, -4 dexterity to foes. Cryoband grenades, they are 20 cold damage, and they can paralyze a foe if they fail their saves, certain ones for 6 seconds. Ion is 15 on non-droids, however, if you use it against a droid, 45 damage. So let's get to the next set of grenades. Next up are the poison grenades. This gives foes poison stats, which is 4 damage every 3 seconds. This lasts for a total of 30 seconds. Now for sonic grenades, 20 sonic damage and -6 dexterity for 20 to 30 seconds. Plasma grenades is 36 heat damage and gives the horror status to foes if they fail their saves. Thermal detonators is 60 energy damage, and of course it does knockdown if they fail their saves. That's the best one. Now, if you're really not using grenades, I say towards the middle or the end of the game, they're great to sell, especially the thermal detonators. However, they're great to use at the start, especially in a certain arena part of the game, very early on. Last but not least, we're going to go ahead and talk about the mines. Now, first of all, flash mines, all 3 types does stun for 9 seconds. However, minor is the easiest to resist. Average is in the middle. Deadly is the hardest to resist. Frag mines, minor does 18 piercing damage. Now, the average one does 30 piercing damage. And last but not least, deadly does 54 piercing damage. Next up for the mines list is the gas mines. Minor does 3 poison damage per 3 seconds for 30 seconds. Average does 4 damage per 3 seconds for 30 seconds. Deadly does 5 poison damage per 3 seconds for 30 seconds. So let's get to the plasma ones, the final type of mines. Last but not least are the plasma mines. Minor does 34 energy damage if it's not resisted. Average does 42 energy damage if it's not resisted, and deadly does 72 energy damage if it's not resisted. I'm going to probably say is if you're good at playing mines, go ahead and use them. Otherwise, they're great for selling. So let's get to the next part of the guide, shall we? Combat system in Star Wars Knights of the Old Republic. So let me explain. You can select your targets like I am with the mouse or the controller, depending on which version you're playing. On your foes, the left icons are the feat ones, the middle are Jedi Powers, the right ones are grenades. You can also use healing items and more. Just remember when you do select a command, there's a bar in the middle that you see that is your order that you're selecting using. So for example, if you select grenades, force power, and then go ahead and go melee, yeah, those will be in order you select from first, second, and third. Keep you cool, and you got this for combat. So after you gain enough experience points via combat, of questing or other methods, well, guess what? You get that nice little icon, either for your own self or your companions, as you see. In this case, we got our own characters. Please note, don't select auto level up. It'll give a game suggestion instead of your suggestion. You should take control. Now, since we're not at the 4, 8, 12, 16, or level 20, we get no attributes to put in a point in, unfortunately. So good news is we get skill. Just my advice on that is go ahead and follow your own plan. In my case, I am storing at least 1 point into Persuade. Yeah, that's right. You can store points. I'm going to repeat that again. Yes, you can. So I'm going to go ahead and do that. Now, from time to time, you may be able to select feats. You may not be able to. In this case, I can. So you're allowed to select one feat. And since I cannot select improved toughness or improved 2-weapon fighting, I'll have to pick another feat. So I'm going to go ahead and select empathy for now. Yeah, after that, once you're done, hit the accept, and you officially level to, I'm going to say, in my case, 3. Let's get to the next section of this guide. Next up on the list, besides looking for mines in the world and getting the travel, is the computers and repair parts of the game. So I'm going to go over each step. So for example, we're going to go ahead and do a security panel here. And this is a computer slicing part. So more you have in new computers, less it'll cost things. So for example, computer use is really up there. That's 0 to 1 computer spikes you have. If you don't have any spikes, you cannot do anything fun or hacking like this, for example. This is a great way to get some easy experience points, and from time to time clear the room. Also get schematics of the map, locations open, and more. Now, if you're not that great in combat or you have poor choices on some certain attributes or more, well, you have a bone sometimes. It's these combat droids. If your repair is really up there, it'll cost less repair parts. So just remember, more into repair, the less it will cost to go ahead and activate this droid. We're going to go ahead and do all of that. Now, my final advice for those two is if you have any, I should say, party members that are higher than you, let them do the legwork. Yeah, and take advantage of definitely with the computer to destroy foes. This way you fight less. Let's get to the next part of this guide. At certain times in Star Wars Knights of the Old Republic, you could be making choices through dialogue. Yes, that's correct, everyone. There's dialogue in this game, and some dialogue can lead you to the dark side of the Force or the light side. Now, in this case, I'm showing you all the dark side path for this conversation. So you see these drunks are harassing our characters in this world, and of course our companion does interject too. At times there are persuade choices, so higher to persuade, more success you're at it. Now, since I am not going to do any persuade choices, I'm going to go into a fight and kill these fools. They all definitely deserve it. Yeah, harassing our character was not a good idea. And yes, because we're about to kill them, we're about to get a little thing saying we're gaining dark side points. So yes, your choice of what type of force powers you could use with little to no cost or a lot is dependent on dialogue choice. In this case, we got some more dark side points. I'll put a chart later up on that when we get to the Jedi portion of this guide. Yeah, we're going to go ahead and just kill these fools, and then I will do the light side choice. So now we're going to go ahead and do the same choice of speeding through the conversation with the exception of this part. So you see the, what you call brackets with the word persuade on it. Well, if we have that high persuade skills, we get to be successful. That means that if we're successful, we could attempt to avoid combat. Right now, we're definitely avoiding combat because we're offering these drunks a drink. And they're changing their tune real quick. So yeah, just remember, talk to people all the time. You get maybe a few quests open up to you, a few activities, some light side points, or some dark side points if you're into that. Just remember one more thing. Say before sometimes talking, just in case you have a light or dark side choice. So this way it tailors to your character. We're going to go ahead and get to the next portion of this guide. In Star Wars Knights of the Old Republic, good and evil is a bit different. So for example, the light side, that's the good guys and gals. So I'm going to give some advice on how to actually increase more towards the light side. Do not accept any rewards at all. That's very important. Do not kill, do not steal, do not threaten, do not be a selfish SOB, or don't do anything else that is evil or the ways of the Sith / Dark Jedi. So more you do that, more points you get up there. So for this next section, let's talk about the other side of the coin, the dark side of the Force. You decided to go for the other side of the coin, the dark side of the Force, either by one of your friends, Emperor Palpatine, or others. So here's how to get some more dark side points. Threaten people. You threaten them. Well, that's a good way to get those points up there. Kill people. That includes bounty hunting, for the most part, after the first planet. Now, you can also ask for more reward, be selfish, or do anything else that is evil. Just remember, when you are doing light or dark, definitely focus on the path you're going through. Don't half at all. That's very important to know. So next part of the video is damage types. I'm going to go ahead and talk about the damage types. First of all, for melee, for the most part, and sometimes other factors, blunt, slashing, and piercing. That's just also like in Dungeons & Dragons. Now, other types you might find on weapons or other objects you use, including mines and grenades, is energy. Also, that does include lightsabers, electric, fire, cold, sonic, poison, ion, great against droids, by the way, unstoppable. That means you cannot block anything, and physical. I include that also with melee too. So know your damage types and when to use them. Also when to use those shields on your arms to help you out big time. Next part of the guide is companions. In Star Wars Knights of the Old Republic, you get a total of 3 people in your party, yourself and 2 others you get to select and choose from. Always speak to your party members after you level up, very important. So the first one I am going to go ahead on the official list is Bastila. I'm going to select her, I think, about now. So Bastila, she is a Jedi Sentinel, middle road Jedi. We'll explain more of that in the next part of the guide. She's a very good companion, actually. You could give her like healing powers, buffing powers. She won't have more force powers than Jolee or more feat powers than Juhani. Canderous, that is the Mandalorian. He's a powerful soldier. I tried him out 2 ways. Heavy weapons, his default, and melee. Well, go with melee with him because his stats are powerful. He's real great with a melee weapon. Dual wielding, power attack, you're golden. Great for dark side players too. Now, next up is our friend here, Karth. I'm trying to select. So, Karth, he's great at pistols, dual wielding pistols. Can do a lot of damage if you set him up right. In other words, 2-weapon fighting, max out his pistols, and etc. Great to have definitely for a light side player if you want to have a melee person like him. I should say more like range, sorry. Now, after our friend Karth here is HK47. I'm going to say this about HK47. If you're playing a soldier slash Jedi Guardian, you don't have repair, you're not going to improve him much. And if you're playing like the other classes with repair, oh, he gets better every time you go through his own personal quest that does involve the repair skill. So boost up that repair in order to boost him up. Jolee, out of the 3 Jedis, I feel like he is the very best. He has so much force powers. You can build him so many ways with force powers. Since he's on a neutral path, a little bit light, but still wonderful to have. So if you're a Jedi Guardian, or better yet, you're a Scoundrel slash Consular, and then he has a stun power, you could go ahead and do some free stun attacks and backstab attacks. Juhani, I'm going to say that she, with her stats, she's a great Jedi Guardian. You give her Night Speed, Force Valor for a light side Jedi, and she can tear things up for you. Also give her power attack, and Barrier, if you do wield her, she'll do some massive damage. Now mission, her skills are great there. She's great for skills. I also heard that if you dual pistol her, and then of course if you have Jolee do the stuns, or have a mission throw the grenades, she can really do some lot of damage. Now after a mission, another party member that is great with skills is our T3-M4. He can do so many things with so many skills. Now, if you build him a certain way, he's alright, but still, you bring a little droid along for certain skill tasks, things will be a lot more easier. Rooms will be cleared out without you even going in there and also into danger. Now, our next one is Zalabar, or I call him Big Z. He's a scout, he's a Wookiee. Give him some melee weapons since Wookiees are great at that, and he'll go to town. Now, if you have enough skills, after you give him more in the melee weapons, and of course, I should say definitely health, put him with dual wielding, and he's powerful. My advice is that tailor to your needs. Like for example, Jolee, if you're a Jedi Guardian at one point, then yeah, put some more force powers. Other than that, just experiment, see what's best with your party members, what gels with you. So next part of the video we're going to talk about is the Jedi classes, and I'm going to list all 3 of them. At some certain point in the game, you're going to go ahead and level up into one of the 3 Jedi classes. There's the Jedi Guardian, Jedi Sentinel, and a Jedi Consular. So I'm going to go ahead and go over 3 of them. Before I actually do that, I'm going to give one more vital piece of advice. Go ahead and level up your character in your first class until level 8, then store your levels. In other words, don't hit the level up button once you get that mark to go to level 9. So I'm going to go ahead and give my thoughts about each of the 3 of them. First up is the Jedi Guardian. They have more vitality, okay, hit points, more feats. They have the best attacks out of the 2 Jedi, for example with lightsabers. Less skills, unfortunately, average force power numbers. One thing that's going for them is the force jump feat. In other words, they close in. They're great frontline fighters. Let's get to the next one. Next up is the Jedi Sentinel. Middle of the road vitality. They're right in the middle. Average number of feats gained. Average attacks. Good skill numbers. They're better than a Jedi Guardian. Average force power numbers. That fear immunity is real nice. They're great for situations. You can put them as a melee. You can put them as a buffer. You could use them for other things too. Let's get to the last class. The Jedi Consular. Now they have less vitality, unfortunately. Less feats to get. Average attacks with the lightsaber. More skills they could have access to. Best to get more force power. In other words, they have a whole bunch of force power they can select. They have force focus feat. That means they're hard to resist Jedi powers when they use them. Great for force power usage and also back of the row. So I'm going to give some advice for the Jedi classes before we end this section of the guide. I'm going to go ahead and give some advice before I go to the next section of this Don't Panic guide. Now for class combo, Soldier plus Jedi Guardian makes a powerful melee fighter. Scout plus Jedi Sentinel makes a nice situational fighter. Scoundrel and of course Jedi Consular makes a great backline fighter that either you could do sneak attacks or better yet use a lot of force power. First class in your character you create, go to level 8, then stop, store your levels, and then once you become a Jedi, go for level 12, which is the cap by the way is 20. As for robes, definitely wear them. I didn't list it, but use your lightsaber once you become a Jedi. That's your tool. Now, last but not least, focus either on your light or dark path all the way. In Star Wars Knights of the Old Republic, universal powers will not add or subtract the force you need to use them. So that is great news. In other words, you can freely pick them and definitely use them. Please note, you cannot wear any armor on many of these, so it's robes all the way. That's why I suggested in the last section. First of all, this is burst of speed. Your speed will double, which is a great thing. And I would say this. Should be either 1 or 2 of your first force powers you definitely want. And your defense definitely goes up. That's a good thing. Now, after that is night speed. Same thing as the last one. However, they got some nice upgrades. If I remember right, your attack goes up too. Yeah, in other words, attack per round, I should say. Your defense is increased by 4. Double speed movement. Now, here is the best and most broken universal force power. Master speed. Your movement is still doubled, however your defense is really up there and your attacks are really up there too. My advice, definitely if you want to rush, I do mean rush towards master speed. Next up is force resistance. This power offers Jedi some protection. This is alright, so this way you negate some effects. It's okay at best. I'd probably say there's another type of defensive one you want in the universal tree. Now this next one does much better for the resistance. I should say force immunity. You're immune against many of the foe's powers, which is a good thing, but like I said before, there's another better one I will definitely want to talk about. If you have the powers, I should say, what do you call it, force power number, yeah, then go for it. Otherwise, yeah, there's other better universal powers out there you want. So after that is my personal favorite, energy resistance. You buff your Jedi buff themselves up. It absorbs damage from sonic, fire, cold, and electrical attacks. This is a great way to save from using those arm things, which use them 5 times and they break. Now, this one is better. Improved energy resistance. That's like the last one. Huge difference. The entire party benefits from you. Great to have. I do mean wonderful to get. I'd probably say down the line, either early or later on, max that out. Afflict Mind. This will give you some extra dialogue and conversations. This is a main character power only. It's a great way to cheese through some of the talks, of course. I did this with a Dark Side playthrough many years ago. That was fun. That's all I gotta say. It's not just for light, by the way. This next universal power is the upgrade of the previous one I shown. They get some extra conversations. You get to dominate the mind. The only thing about those two is that's the downside. You can't use them against droids, of course, but still, you get to have some fun with the conversations. I mean, come on. So after that, let me go down, make sure there's no light or dark since we're in the neutral zone. Force push, you push a foe down, they're stunned for 3 seconds. Now, you couple this with a Scoundrel. Yeah, good times roll. That's right, force push, Scoundrel attacks. Everybody benefits. Now, this one is just a single target still. They're in air and dust, they're still incapacitated. I don't know if I remember right. I think they still can be affected by Scoundrel damage. Well, the extra ones at least. Unfortunately, both all 3 force push lines will not work against droids. Yeah, they're not fleshlings. Now, Force Wave, this is real powerful. All enemies feel it. They fall down, they are incapacitated. Well, they won't die, but still, it's like a stun. Get your Scoundrel to go in. My advice is, this is a good one to take if you like to use Scoundrels in your party. Like, for example, Mission. And let me go to the next one. Force Suppression. This will cancel out the first and second Jedi Power tiers. Now, if you have the points, go ahead and use it. This is like a Dispel Magic that was from the Dungeon Dragon games. Well, that's what this Force Power does exactly. Now, next one up is the upgrade of Force Suppression, which is Force Breach. This will cancel all Force powers together. Yep, that's right. The 3rd tier. Now, if you're in a debuffing like crazy, this is great to use. Otherwise, if you don't have the Force powers, then yeah, invest in something else. Throw Lightsaber. This is a nice Force power to throw. Single target. They take damage for every 1 through 6 for every 2 levels of your attacking character. Good news is your lightsaber comes back. Now, this one, Advanced Throw Lightsaber, hits a whole bunch of targets. I should probably say this is pretty decent to use if you want to be a puller. I'd say this is more like a puller power, and that's it. I'm going to say the best universal/neutral power is the speed line. Get that up there ASAP. So next section will be the light side force powers. Let's go ahead and talk about the light side of Force. So I'm going to go ahead and get to about using light side powers if you're a Dark Jedi. Now, if you're dabbling in Dark Side of Force, these powers will cost a lot more. Now, if you're light side, further you get on the light side path, the less it will cost. So definitely remember that. And yeah, once again, do not wear any armor. Robes is the way to go. There are some very good robes in the game. First of all, Cure. This will heal 5 vitality, plus 1 point for every charisma modifier, wisdom modifier, and level your force user. Great healing to have. Get this first or second if you're a light side force user. Heal. Now, this one does 10 vitality, plus the same thing, charisma, wisdom, and your level your character. And also this cures poison. That's the upside. Now, both healing lines does not cure anything. I'm going to say for heal itself, get it for a Jedi Consular, but not the other two. Tier 1's fine. Now, Force Aurora, this does is it grants the Jedi plus 2 bonus in defense, and all saving throws is plus 2. Also, this one is not bad, but there's a Force Valor line that's much more better. Yeah, just trust me. Still, if you want to get it, that's alright. Now, I'm going to go ahead and select the other one, Force Shield. Now, this will grant you plus 4 to defense, and saving throws is plus 4 too. Again, there's better out there, but still, if your characters have it, go ahead and definitely use it. Next up on the list after Force Shield is Force Armor. Now this gives you +6 to defense and all saving throws is +6. Again, I say Force Valor is much more better, but still, if you have characters going through that tree, that's fine. And if you're a Force Jedi Consular, if you want to get, that's alright, but there's better. Force Valor, this is one of the most broken light side powers. Your attributes will go up, your saving throws will go up, all by 2 points, and all your party members are affected by this for 20 seconds. Now, this is good. It's good, really good, and it can be OP'd at times. Night Valor, really OP'd, much more than the first one. Now you get 3 points in all your attributes. Your saving throws are up there, and you're now immune to poison. And it is so wrong and right for light side force users or Jolie. Last but not least, Master Valor. Now it's 5 points for all your attributes. You grant immunity to poison, and also save throws are 5. This is really broken. You couple this with Master Speed and your melee fighter, you own people. Now, next up on the list is Stun. This will allow a Jedi to go ahead and stun a foe that's not a droid. Now, you couple this with a Scoundrel in your party, free damage. That's right. So, Jedi Consular, you should definitely consider going through this tree if you want to. Stasis, this will hold a target unable to move. Again, if they don't resist, that's good. Can't use against droids, that's alright. Another one of those, you have a Scoundrel in your party, good times roll. Now, here's another thing, Stasis Field. This will actually stun a group of foes. And it's very good though. I mean, if they don't resist, that's fine. And if they do resist, they're only slowed but not stunned. Either way, you get a stun a foe or slow a foe. That's good. You can't use against droids. Now we're going to go on the next on the light side power list. Stun Droid. This is the stun version, but for droids. Great to have. Seriously. Now, after that, I'm going to go ahead and show disable droids. Shut down all droids within 5 meters. I'm going to say that's much more better than the fleshling / non-droid version. And if they resist, they negate the stun and reduce damage by 50%. Destroy droid. All droids will take damage within the area, which is very nice. So if you want to do more damage against droids, that's fine. Now for this line, I'll probably say is go for 2 or 3. It's your choice. Other than that, make sure you're a light side user and keep on the light side. So I'm going to go ahead and talk about the last set of force powers. The dark side of the Force. Last but not least is the dark side of the Force powers. Now please note, if you're a light side player and you're really up there on the light side, you decide to pick a dark side power, it'll cost much more to use. Now if you're a dark side player and you're really down in the dark side alignment, it'll cost less to use. So I'm going to go ahead and go over the first one. Many of them are really offensive, some serious debuffs, and more fun. Now, wound is this will cause some great pain to foes. When you definitely use it, they take damage unless they resist it. You can't use them against droids. That's a huge downside. It's alright, but if you have enough powers to pick from, you pick it. Now, choke, this does is foes will take damage. Also, their constitution, strength, and dexterity gets lower if they don't resist it. Can't use it against droid, but it's pretty good. Now, kill, you do a lot more damage than choke, and it really makes it more fun. If you go further tree, it might be worth it, but there's some better dark side powers to definitely abuse on others. Now, next on the list after kill will be the slow line. Now, your targets will be slowed down opposite of the speed line, and if they don't resist it, they take a -2 in defense and reflex saves and attack rolls. Fun time to have though. Great way to debuff and then destroy. Affliction, they are suffer through poisoning, which is good unless their saves come on through. And if you want to poison a foe, that is fine. Also, if I remember right, target is slow too. You can't use it against droids. That's a big no-no. Plague, they suffer from poison, losing 12 points of physical They take damage from that. They lose some attributes. It's an upgrade of the other two. I'm going to say if you want to get through that line, that's pretty decent. Otherwise, there's better. Now, Fear. This will fear a single target. Won't affect droids, but it's like a crowd control spell. Nice to have. Now, if you're facing against a Jedi Sentinel, they're immune to that. So, yeah, be careful. Horror. This is like Fear, but upgraded. Cause all hostile creatures to cower in terror of your might. Can't use against droids, but still. Fun crowd control spell to use and abuse. Last but not least is Insanity. Now, Insanity does is confuse the enemy force. And good times will roll from there. Now, the thing is they'll still fear. You can't use against droids, but some people say they use it. It's pretty decent, but use it at your own discretion. Shock. This line is great. You do 1 through 6 damage plus your character's attacking level. Maximum of 10 levels for 10 through 60 on single target. This can not only hit humanoids, it can hit droids. Great to have. Probably one of the best dark side powers in the entire game. Well, the entire line. Force Lightning, upgraded from Shock. Now this attacks a whole bunch of foes in front of you, just like Emperor Palpatine. Fools will suffer 1 through 6 points of damage, maximum of 10 through 60. You really could mess up some people. Also droids too. And CP302 also, he's in the way. Now, last but not least, Force Storm. It's much more deadly. Foes will... in the entire area around you will suffer 1 through 6 points of damage. Maximum is 10 through 60 still. Harder to resist. Now, the lightning line, you cannot use armor, but still, it's great to have. This is the best line for dark side users in the entire game. You get to really mess some people up. Now, Drain Life does is drains life from foes, 1 through 4 hit points, plus character levels for 10 levels for maximum of 10 through 40. It's not heal, but you get to take life, you do damage, and you heal yourself. Now, the next one is a wrong one. I personally love this one because if foes swarm you, Death Field. All foes within the area takes 1 through 4 damage, maximum amount 10 through 40 per person, and if they don't resist, you get to get healed a lot. Really OP, great in the situation. Every single Jedi class should get if they're on the dark side of the Force. My advice is, if you're going for dark side powers, rush for Shock and the Drain Life line. Those two, very important. And then pick the others at your own discretion. So let's get to the next part of this guide. In Star Wars Knights of the Old Republic, you can not only upgrade certain weapons and armor, either range, melee, or so, you can also upgrade your lightsaber with crystals. So I'm going to go ahead and briefly touch on the first 3, then expand that on the lightsaber crystals, because yeah, those can be really powerful. Very simple. Go ahead and find a workbench and select which weapon you want to upgrade, either for yourself or your party members. There's lightsaber, range, melee, and armor. So very simple. Just select the weapon you want to do. If the space is like that, that means you can upgrade it. If not, you cannot. Very important. So I show you on the range weapon. You could also do that to armor too. So I got that. Boom, I get some extra stuff from it. That's really nice. Melee weapon, same thing. We're going to go ahead and do missions blade, bonus to attack, and more. You can also remove them too. If you find something better, you can upgrade. Now, lightsabers. You can not only change your lightsaber color, like for example, if you're a Sith, you like that red, you could do so. Or if you find crystals all over the game, go ahead and pick it. I'm not going to list all the crystals. I should say, some build videos on some suggested crystals. Still, definitely experiment and try out what you need to try out. It's no harm in that at all. Other than that, upgrade your party members when you need to. If they need new weapons and armor, as long as you have the budget, do so. I'm going to go ahead and get to the next part of the guide. The Pazaak mini card game is like this. Object here is to get the 20 without going over, and make sure your opponent goes over. Also, make sure you're if you don't get the 20, you have more than your opponent. First, you're going to want to select your cards like I did. Now, I'm doing Antares. That's the first thing. Now, there's 3 bubbles you have to fill in order to win. You don't want them to fill it up. Now, my advice on this is simple. when you first play, say before actually going for the ones with money, take some time by facing the practice opponent. And what I'm doing right now is I'm going ahead and end. So this way, I'm going to try to do without using my player's hand. Yeah, out of the cards you chose, you only get 4 total to use. It's random. So I'm at 19 right now. I'm going to go ahead and stand. Yeah, stand at 19. As for 16 or lower, just go ahead and say hit me. And see, and our foe went over, and I won by 1 point. Now, be careful. If you go over, your opponent gets 1. Best 3 wins, of course. And that's about it for this mini game. I'm going to go ahead and do the next one, Swoop Races. Another mini game, the Swoop Races. Object here is to get to the end at the fastest amount of time. I'm going to say save before doing swoop races, especially on the 2-ladder planets where they do have swoop races. So on the lower right, that's your times you could boost. You'll use the first one when you start, so there's 4 more. When you boost, aim for the pads, boost at the right time, and boom, you get to go a lot faster. Use up all those boosts, that's it. On the bottom, that's your boost meter. When it's full, it tells you to flash, go ahead and do so. My advice on this is simple. Aim for the launch pads to go a lot faster. Use all your boosts up. And try not to hit anything. And I mean, if you fail, just load your save up and try again. Some of these swoop races, you could actually earn some nice credits or items you could sell for those said credits. I'm going to go ahead and get to the next section, which is travel and the space minigame. At a certain point in the game, you get the Ebon Hawk. Under a certain point, you get to space travel. So space travel is simple. Select a planet and the way to go. Sometimes you won't face the space minigame. Other times, unfortunately, like I am, we're definitely facing the space minigame, as you will definitely see. Now, in the space minigame, you fail, you die. That's it. Game over. You have to revert a save. So always save before you do travel to another planet. Now, on the lower left, that's your radar where your foes are at. Object here is to take out the Sith spaceships. On the lower right is a blue and red bar, I should say. More red, that means you're in danger. All red, game over. My advice is try to aim for foes when you start out. Hit the fire button real quick. Now, if you're on the PC, don't use your mouse to move. Use your keyboard and then use the mouse to shoot. That's it. Now, I think it's the original Xbox version. They have an easier time to definitely do this mini game. Other than that, keep you cool and aim for a path where the foes are going like I am, and you easily will ace this mini game. We're going to go ahead and get to the next part. It's why you quest in Star Wars Knights of the Old Republic. Next up is questing. Why you should do side quests or any other side activities. Very simple. There'll be opportunities with these side quests and activities. You could get dark side or light side points. You get some rewards. You get some credits. Yeah, that's the currency in the game. And other goodies too. So before doing the main story, the main quest, side quest it up. I mean, come on. You get some good opportunities. Now, do be careful when you bounty hunt later on as a light side player. You get some dark side points. So I'm going to go ahead and get some final tips before I do end the guide. I'm going to go ahead and get some final advice before I do end the guide. Save early, save often. You may never know. And when you're in combat, always use the pause feature. First thing you want to do is definitely buff up, especially one person with night speed and someone with force valor. Now, if you're a dark side player, definitely Jolie is a very useful companion. Bastila too, if you got her Knight Valor all the way. I should say the Master Valor. If you make sure there's ways to make credits in this game, take advantage of those mini games, especially the card one and the swoop races. They're a great way to make some nice cash. Quest up like crazy. Do the side ones first. As a Jedi, make sure you wear a robe and then use your lightsaber. And definitely upgrade those lightsaber crystals. You'll do more damage. Pick what's best for you, what style you want to do. Know your strength and weaknesses. When you first start out, yeah, shields are really useful until you get that nice force power that gives you some shielding too. Other than that, just simply have fun with this game. There's so much to do. Go for at least 2 playthroughs, one for light and one for dark. Well, everyone, this is it for my Don't Panic Star Wars Knights of the Old Republic new player guide. This is Lord Penn signing off. Thanks for watching and have a great day or night. Please stay safe. Please subscribe to my channel for more content like this. If you like what you see, then pick my suggestion on the upper left hand corner or YouTube suggestion on the bottom left hand corner of the screen. And may the Force be with you.